You know what's funny? We talk about failure like it's the worst thing that could ever happen to us. But really, it's one of the best teachers you'll ever have. Failure isn't your enemy. Fear is. Failure pushes you forward. Fear keeps you stuck. And most people never even get close to their potential. Not because they fail, but because they're too scared to try. You're not afraid of failure itself. You're afraid of what you think it means. You're afraid people will laugh. You're afraid of disappointing others. You're afraid that failing will prove you're not good enough. But failure doesn't mean that at all. It means you were brave enough to do something most people only talk about. It means you tried. And trying, even if you fall flat on your face, is still progress. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than you've even tried. They just don't stop there. They use failure as feedback. They take the lesson and keep moving because that's all failure is. Information. It's not a dead end, it's a detour. It's life saying, hey, not this way. Try another. You can't learn without failing. You can't grow without mistakes. You can't build anything meaningful without falling a few times along the way. The irony is, the more you fear failure, the more it controls you. You start playing small. You start overthinking every move. You stop chasing what you actually want because you're too busy trying not to mess up. And then life passes you by. Failure hurts, yeah. It stings your ego. It makes you question yourself. It makes you doubt whether you were ever good enough to begin with. But here's the truth, that pain is temporary. What's worse is never knowing what could have happened if you had just gone for it. Fear of failure is like a cage. It convinces you that safety is better than freedom. But the thing about safety, it's quiet and it's empty. You'll never build confidence avoiding risk. Confidence comes from trying, falling, and realizing you can get back up. You don't grow when things go right. You grow when they don't, because failure forces you to look deeper, to adapt, to evolve, to become better. Every mistake gives you something: experience, perspective, wisdom, humility. Failure builds resilience, and resilience builds greatness. The people who make it aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who didn't let failure stop them. They kept showing up. They kept learning. They kept believing that falling wasn't the end of the story, just part of the journey. And honestly, the fear of failure usually feels worse than the failure itself. Once it happens, you realize it's not the monster you built up in your head. It's just another step. You fall, you learn, you move on. Think about it. Every big thing you've ever accomplished started with a risk. Your first job, your first relationship, your first project. Every time there was a chance it could fail, and maybe it did. But you still learned something that shaped you. That's what failure does. It refines you. If you stop fearing it, you start using it. You start taking more chances. You start creating more. You start living more fully. You stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I learn something that changes my life? Because the only real failure is refusing to try. Everything else, that's just progress in disguise. You're going to fail sometimes. Everyone does, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're human. So stop avoiding failure and start building a relationship with it. Let it teach you, let it guide you, let it humble you, but never let it stop you. Because the moment you stop fearing failure, you become unstoppable. You stop living to avoid pain and start living to pursue growth. And that's where your real power begins. You've got to fail forward, fail smarter, fail with purpose, because the more you fail, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the closer you get to everything you've ever wanted. Don't fear failure. Fear never trying. Fear staying the same. Fear looking back and realizing you played it too safe to ever find out what you were capable of. You can survive failure, but can you live with regret? So go for it. Take the risk. Start the project. Say the thing. Step out of the safe zone and into the unknown. You're going to fail sometimes, but that's exactly how you win in the long run.